Hello my beautiful hammerhead and welcome back to Conquest Saturday. So today we're gonna talk about the rules and especially we're gonna talk about chapter 1 of the free rulebook. We already talked a little bit about the setting of the game. We already had the video about how to build an army list, but do not fret, I'm here for you. So you have just bought one of the new starter sets, which is a great thing, and you just want to pour everything out and enjoy the game. But like me, you have no idea in the beginning, and now you're looking for some resources. Well, let me help you here. So first of all, you can find the free rules on the page. Well, this is the official Parabellum homepage. I will link it in the description box down below. You can find the rules either here or here with the game. The rule section is pretty simple. You have the core rules, you have the community translations if you're not that fluent in English, and then you have the erratas. Also the same thing for the skirmish game with First Blood, but this is a video for another time. So let's look at the core rules here. Before we can roll dice and mash our unpainted miniatures against each other in front of half-painted terrain, let me explain you some things. Because Conquest is a little bit different than other tabletop games, as far as I know. And yeah, well, let me just explain. Some things might be pretty familiar for you, but if you're completely new in tabletop wargaming, first of all, hi, welcome. And well, let me show you some things. Well, first of all, I don't have to show you what a dice is, because we roll dice in these games. We know that. The only thing that I know of which is really different here with Conquest is that we want to roll as slow as possible, because we want to be the number one, so the number one is the best thing on the dice. So making rolls is really just simple. Again, the lower you roll, the better it is. We have automatic passes and fails. That is already it is just explained. I don't have to tell you anything about that. Rerolls is pretty simple. You are only allowed to reroll once. If you rerolled once and you don't like the outcome, tough luck. Now you have to live with the outcome. Sometimes we have roll-offs, just like when we want to know who goes first. Then again, the person who rolls the lowest die wins. If it's a draw, then we re-roll as long as we have a definitive winner. For measuring distances, everything here is measured in inches. And you are always allowed to measure how far something is, so nothing will stand in your way to think about a charge or if you're able to shoot something before you roll. Then of course we have the best thing, the models. The models, well, this is our army. We choose one of the factions, and not like with my B-roll here, where I have an amalgamation of 3 different factions. You choose one and this makes up your army. The models are pretty straightforward. These are the models. The stance is what kinda is a little bit different, because we have the stance. A stand is one of these rectangular bases, because the model itself stands on the regular circular base, and we can insert them in the rectangular ones. Why is this so important? Because the circular bases are used in the skirmish game First Blood. The stands are used in the bigger game The Last Argument of Kings. There are different types of stands. We have the infantry stand where 4 models will slot in. Then we have the cavalry and brutes, which are basically the same, but yeah, well, we will have a difference in a moment there. Then we have chariots, which are just 2 of the cavalry / brute basin sticked together, but as of recording and publishing this video right now, the chariots aren't available as of yet. They will be released at a later point in time, and I will make a dedicated video about them. And then we of course have the monsters. Those are the big ones. Those are rare, but they are incredible. For every stand we have a size. Size is just really the height of the thing, which is just an arbitrary number. It just helps a little bit out with some rulings, like infantry stands are height 1, brutes, cavalry and chariots are size 2, and monsters are of course size 3. Why is this important? Because some brutes can shoot and you can't shoot through other brute units, but you can shoot over infantry stands. That is why it's so important. Terrain of course has also its size. Hills as an example are height 2, forests are 3, regular buildings are size 2 and towers, fortifications are size 3. You can add them up. Those are cumulative if it is possible, because a house can stand on a hill. And yeah, that makes size 4 as an example. But we will get to terrain in a later point in time. Regiments is also pretty simple. A regiment is made with 3 stands in the regular kind of way. By that I of course mean the infantry, the cavalry and brutes are usually set up in 3. That makes a regiment. The only exceptions here are chariots, because those models are loners, basically. But to be fair, with hero models, this is not really that true, because we add hero stands to the regiments, which we will discuss in a moment. Because forming a regiment is pretty simple. You have the ranks, which is just everything shoulder to shoulder, and the files, which is basically everything behind each other. How we move, how we remove losses, we will discuss in a later video. Command models like standard bearers, musicians, officers and such are in the command stand. The command stand is basically the center of the regiment. They have to stand as close to the center as possible. So if you have 3 stands side by side, that's pretty simple. It's just the middle one. If you have 4, it has to be one of the 2 in the middle. So infantry regiments can only have 1 command stand. That's the important part here. Also, I don't know why we have to talk about this, but apparently this is really, really important. The stands aren't allowed to overlap each other. So they have to stand flush side by side, which is really important. Facing arcs is also pretty simple. We have 90 degrees, basically real estate in front of the stand. So every corner is just 45 degrees from the center. That's it. That's what they can see. Then of course we have the front arc, the flank arcs and the rear arc. So now I'm going a little bit out of order from the rulebook, because when you unpack your starter box, you have seen the cards. And the cards are really, really important, because not only is the QR code there, which will help you find the, well, characteristics for your models and your regiments. Also, there is the artistic depiction of the regiment. So keep the cards, we will need them in the game itself. Why are the cards so important? Because the cards, not only again with the QR codes to know what kind of characteristics your models have, is the order in which we play the regiments. And there are some special rules here, like draw events. Draw events is you pick a card, activate the regiment, and the draw event says that happens. This is a draw event. So for the characteristics, let me show you something here. I showed you the starter box for the Sorcerer King, so we're going to go in here. This might look like much, but it's rather really simple. Let me show you the Rajakur, which are the basic infantry type. And we have it here, infantry medium. We have 5 types of, well, models. We have infantry, we have brutes, we have cavalry, we have chariots, we have monsters. Those are only important for some special rules. Then we have here, we have light, medium and heavy, which is basically the order in which the models come to the battlefield. And as another example, light units can't score victory points on mission objectives. And please don't be confused if one army has cavalry units in a medium section or in the light section and other armies have them in the heavy section, because it depends from army to army and how they're being played. You see that the hero doesn't have a heavy type or medium type or light type here, because the hero just gets the thing from, well, the regiment it joins. So now let me show you the characteristics. We will talk about special rules in a different video. We have here the move characteristic. This is again in inches. Characteristics usually go from 0 to 6. The only exceptions are move and wounds, which I rather call health, but that's just me. Move is pretty simple. You can move 5 inches in this instance. This is volley. Volley is, are they capable of shooting an enemy or not? Rajakur, first of all, don't have a ranged weapon, but if they had, they wouldn't be the best, because they only hit on once. This is the clash action. This just means how well do they fight in combat. A 2 is fine, so you have to roll a 1 or 2 to hit your enemy. Oh, by the way, all these characteristics are per stand. This is really important as of yet, because one stand in the Rajakur regiment has 4 attacks. So if you have 3 stands, which is the number here, you have 12 attacks. You have 4 wounds per stand, so your whole regiment has 12 wounds. This is your resolve. This is basically just, are they brave or are they not? Because when you get hit in close combat, some of your people might lose, well, hope and might despair and run away or be cut down because they struggled. This is defense. This is just your, well, defense roll. You have to roll a 1 or 2 again to save your wound characteristic, your health. And this is evasion, so if an enemy just obliterates your armor, this will help you out. But in this case, the Rajakur are not that quick on their feet, so they will get hit in the face by anything. So yeah, this is basically chapter 1. The only thing that's left in chapter 1 is in contact, but in contact just means you, well, contact, stand to stand. I don't know what else I can say about this one. So this was chapter 1 out of 12. This might sound like a lot, but please believe me when I say that the last chapters are getting shorter and shorter, and I will have the opportunity to make some of the chapters into one video. In some cases even 2 or 3 chapters in one video. The next video will be about chapter 2, which is the round sequence. But yeah, that was it for today. If you have any questions, please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, please remember to do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is not only fun. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more wargaming almost every day. By that, I of course mean like and subscribe, and if you want, you can support me on Ko-fi. But until then, have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.